I knew something was wrong the moment she avoided eye contact. People lie with their words. They confess through silence. She stood in the kitchen, twisting her ring, telling me her parents wanted a small, intimate celebration this year. Which was odd, because for the past 8 years, they'd practically dragged me into every family event. Birthdays, dinners, even a cousin's graduation for a degree none of us understood. Suddenly, I wasn't invited. Her voice cracked on the word intimate. That was the tell. But I didn't fight. I didn't shout. I simply nodded, kissed her forehead, and said, "Have a good time." Because the moment she limited my presence, I knew I'd been replaced. Not as her husband, as her fool. The backstory? Fine, let me rewind. I married into her family thinking I'd finally found something resembling warmth. My own upbringing was cold steel. No affection, no softness. Her parents welcomed me with open arms, fed me too much food, and bragged about me to strangers. I mistook that for love. I mistook her smiles for loyalty. Turns out the entire foundation was termite-eaten. I just hadn't kicked the wood hard enough yet. The kicking started 3 months ago, when her sister, bright smile, fake laugh, expensive perfume, began dropping small comments. Jokes that weren't jokes. "You work so much." "She spends a lot of time with her coworkers." "She and Daniel have great chemistry, don't they?" Daniel, her coworker, the one she swore she barely talked to. I brushed it off, until I couldn't. The real shift happened the night she left her phone on the couch and hopped in the shower. It buzzed once, then again, then again. The screen lit up with Daniel's name. I didn't open the messages. I didn't need to. The frequency told the story. My heart didn't break. It iced over. Pain became purpose. Purpose became planning. I spent the next 12 weeks crafting my exit like a quiet architect of ruin. While she laughed at her screen, I met with a lawyer. While she left to run errands, I gathered bank statements. While she slept facing the wall instead of me, I scanned the deed she begged to put in both our names. That was my biggest sacrifice, my cleanest miscalculation. She wanted to feel secure. I wanted to prove I trusted her. So I put her name on the house. What she didn't know was that I also put her name on the property taxes due in January. And I adjusted my direct deposits. And I moved my savings. And I let her keep spending my money like nothing was changing. Because she would be the one paying for it, literally. Fast forward to the anniversary night. She dressed up like a polished lie. Sparkling earrings, red dress, the works. She kissed my cheek like she was kissing a ghost. Then she left. I sat in silence for 30 minutes, just absorbing the shape of the decision she'd made. Then my phone buzzed. It was her sister. A photo. The entire family gathered around a cake. And my wife leaning into Daniel's shoulder like he was already part of the bloodline. The caption, "Family only." That was the moment the plan crystallized into action. I didn't rage, I didn't drink, I didn't break things. I simply hit like. Then typed, 6 minutes later, the post vanished. 30 missed calls lit up my screen. Her name, her mother's, her father's, even Daniel's. That last one almost made me laugh. But I didn't answer. Not yet. They deserved the full impact. I waited until she came home. She burst through the door, tears streaking her makeup, phone in her shaking hand. "What did you do?" she demanded. I sat on the couch, calm as a surgeon. "I honored your caption," I said. "You said family only, so I removed myself." She froze, understanding creeping across her face in jagged pieces. I handed her a folder. Inside, quitclaim deed, bank reassignments, tax statements, lawyer filings, proof of her transfers to Daniel, screenshots of their messages, and a timeline that made it clear this wasn't a reaction, this was a conclusion. "I'm leaving the house to you," I said, "and the debt that comes with it." She collapsed on the coffee table, whispering my name like a plea. "You can't do this." Already did. Her parents arrived minutes later, pounding on the door. They looked at me like I'd set their world on fire. Truth is, I only handed them a match. The gasoline came from their daughter. Her mother cried. Her father yelled. Daniel hovered behind them, pale, guilty, sweating. My wife clung to my arm, begging, promising, bargaining. The power shift was so complete it felt unreal. I stood, picked up my bag, and looked each of them in the eyes. "You all made choices," I said. "I just made mine quieter." Then I walked out. Resolution? Here it is. I didn't leave with anger. I left with clarity, the kind that only betrayal can carve into a person. I didn't destroy her life, I just returned it to her, without my support holding it up. The truth is simple. They took me for granted. They treated me like an optional piece. So I removed myself. And watching it all collapse behind me felt like justice. Clean, final, a deserved ending. And I regret nothing.